Hola amigas and amigos! Today we'll be taking spelling sheet 9 about music and sounds. Starting with acoustic. What does acoustic mean? Acoustic is something that is off sound or music without electrical amplification. So an electrical guitar is not an acoustic sound. What does blaring mean? Blaring means something that is loud and disturbing. What does cacophonous or cacophonous mean? It means a harsh, discordant sound. But to understand it, we need to understand what discordant is. Discordant, all the way down here, means a harsh sound that's without harmony, okay? Or sounds that disagree with each other. Moving on to caterwauling. What does caterwauling mean? Caterwauling is to make a shrill or wailing noise, such as cats when they are not meowing, but calling on to each other and singing to each other. What does clattering mean? Clattering means to make a rattling noise. Now let's understand rattling, coming all the way up here. Rattling means short, sharp, knocking sounds. Think of a rattlesnake, okay? Moving on to droning. What does droning mean? Droning means a sound that is monotonous, low, and dull noise. Think of the sentence, "Ooh, my teacher drones on and on and on, and I'm so tired," okay? It's usually a monotonous sound that's low and dull, kind of making people sleepy. What does dulcet mean? Dulcet is something that is soothing or pleasant to hear. Harmonious is something that shows agreement. So basically, harmonious is the opposite of discordant because it shows agreement while discordant shows disagreement. What does mellifluous mean? Mellifluous means something that is smooth and sweet. Melodic is something that is tuneful and pleasant to the ear. Monotonous, as we mentioned, is something that's tedious due to its lack of variety. Because usually in sounds we have sounds that go up and down and up and down. But monotonous would kind of have just one singular tone. What does plaintive mean? Plaintive means something that is sad and mournful. Think of the plaintive cry of someone. Let's say the widow's plaintive cry made me feel so sad. What does ruckus mean? Ruckus is something that is disturbingly harsh or a loud noise. For example, if a teacher walks into a class and says, "Why are you causing a ruckus?" Okay? Because the class is being disturbing or noisy. So what does resonant mean? Resonant is something that is deep, clear, and continuing, or something that is resounding. Rhythmic means forming regular patterns because it's a rhythm. Ricocheting means something that rebounds from a surface. Think of a ricocheting bullet. Basically a bullet that was shot somewhere, hit something, and rebounded back. Riotous is something that is wild, uncontrolled, unrestrained, or unruly. Remember our previous spelling sheet? We took unruly. Sonorous is deep, full, rich sounds. Staccato is notes that are sharp and separate. Think of that's but sharper, okay? But you have to remember there are separate sounds. What is symphonic? Something that is a symphony, right? It's a pleasing arrangement or composition of music or sounds. Tumultuous is something that is loud, confused noise, or something that is excited, confused, or disorderly. Think of you being in a very crowded place and there's too much noise around you, okay? What is ululating? Ululating is what happens in Sudan in weddings. The is to howl or wail to show strong emotion. So in Sudan's wedding cases, it's a happy emotion. What is vibrating? Vibrating is rapid back and forth movements that are producing a quivering sound. All right? So we're going to take all of these words that we talked about and we're going to put them in our spelling sheet, fill in the blanks or filling the gaps. Example for number 3, the sound of the woman's ululating signaled the arrival of the bride. Going through the spelling sheet, we're going to use some of the words again to write a paragraph and make sure it's a coherent paragraph, please. In our grammar review, to each verb, we're going to add an adverb to describe it. For example, shown, we can say brightly shown, okay? And we're going to complete the sentence with the correct homophones, for example, inquiry and inquiry. Remember which one is a formal inquiry and which one can be used for informal things. We have formally and formerly, and we have beach and beach. All right? Then we have matching the words to their meanings. For example, a single rail track is a monorail. And adding prefixes to each of these words to make them into antonyms. For example, agree will become disagree. All right? Then we have to rewrite these sentences, changing them from the plural to the singular. For example, the mice lived in the barn until the children found them. The mice becomes mouse, and then we have to change children and them. All right? You can do the rest yourself. Putting these words into alphabetical order, everybody knows their ABCs. Remember to watch out to what comes after the F. Then we have rewriting the sentences to punctuate them correctly. Remember to start a new line every time a new speaker is introduced, and remember your quotation marks. Adding a clause to each of these to make a longer sentence, use a different connective. What can your connectives be? You can use your adverbs and you can use your conjunctions, okay? And remember, they have to be different. Rewriting words in their singular form, the singular form of salmon is still salmon. And rewriting these hyphenated words correctly in a sentence. For example, empty-handed. Somebody came empty-handed to the party. All right? If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask me. Goodbye.